And what happens in our story is that our main character, our protagonist, played by Ewan McGregor, who's Jonathan, is a very lonely, insulated, smart, but overworked and lonely guy who's an accountant who works from job to job 2 weeks at a time. So he's very disconnected with the world. And my character kind of says, hey, come on, come with me, and I'm going to take you out, I'm going to show you life, I'm going to introduce you to a way of life that you're never going to live unless you come with me. And it's just too enticing for Jonathan to refuse, and so he does. He goes along on this journey into a whole different side of New York City, which includes sex clubs and very high class, mind you. Very cool nightclubs, a way of life that he would only have ever seen in a movie or read about before. Wyatt is a fairly Machiavellian kind of character. He's manipulative, smart, he's charming, he's enigmatic and mysterious. He's the guy you want to be around. He's the guy that never waits in line for anything. Somehow, if it's the hottest nightclub, he just walks straight through. In fact, when I was growing up, I remember people like Wyatt. I was like, wow, how do you get confidence like that? He just has this confidence that he owns the world. Wyatt is it's fair to say he's a darker character. He's a little bit of a shady character. You're not quite sure what his motives are at any point in time. He's very unpredictable, a little dangerous. You just have this feeling that, as enticing and enigmatic as it is, that you should probably not be going along with him, because it might lead to trouble. I've always been a huge fan of Ewan's because I think all of his movies are interesting. I often would say, I'll see a Ewan McGregor movie because they're all very different. He's very different in them. I mean, I think his range of roles is almost without comparison, probably in our sort of age group, He's done so many things. He's so committed, and yet at the same time, he has a blast doing it. He really acts from this place of enjoyment. To work with him, the crew, the actors, everybody loves it because he's laughing, he's cracking jokes, he's having a good time. And trust me, he's in almost every frame of this movie, so I'm glad he's having a good time. But he's such an asset to this film in every way. It's a different role for him, just like it's a different role for me. And yet the subtlety and the fineness that he brings to that part really have elevated this movie into something I think which is special. And I think his performance is really quite amazing and phenomenal. Michelle is an amazing actress. I think that's without question. But to play a role like this, a kind of siren in a way, is something that I don't think she's done before. And I'm just so thrilled she took the plunge to doing it because, I don't know, again, as a producer watching dailies, I found myself muttering, watching, with my partners, and we were watching dailies and just going, oh my God, so breathtakingly beautiful. So you totally understood why this guy Jonathan saw her on the subway and could not get her out of her mind, because on screen it's like a piece of art. I think the characters are very well rounded, the story is good, but there are twists and turns in here that I don't think people are going to see coming. And we're very lucky to have Ewan McGregor and Michelle Williams, who are consummate actors, and they really bring this to life. The whole movie kind of seduces you. It doesn't rush you. It's not formulaic in that normal thriller way. It kind of just draws you in. And through the character of Jonathan, I think a lot of people will be able to relate to his plight and to what he's going through, and will be taken into a world that they would never get to see. And believe it or not, this world exists. It is a movie that is, I think, very entertaining. It's fresh, it's very smart, it's sexy, and it's a thriller, which is something that I hadn't really been in for a while. And it's a role that is slightly different for me. So these are all things that plus shooting in New York City, which really was terrific for us, and my family live here in New York City. So all of these reasons made it a perfect choice.